Hey y'all, welcome to Musical Miles Podcast, where live music and great stories take center stage. Today's episode is brought to you by our friends at TETON Guitars. Whether you're picking tunes around a campfire or taking the stage at your favorite honky-tonk, TETON Guitars delivers rich, soulful sound built for the journey. Learn more at tetonguitars.com. Now let's dive into some music and memories. Hey music lovers, welcome to the podcast. I'm your host Byron Duff and I am here with Miss Jade Marie Patek.
Hello.
Star.
Jade Marie Patek Star, that's right.
Yeah, it just keeps getting longer. Let's hope that ends up.
I know.
I feel bad for this baby, right? This baby's going to have a name this long, right?
Yeah, no, I'll keep it to just first, middle, last for him, but we spent all those years just branding myself with Patek, and then you get married and you're like, well, that's also a really cool stage name, but
yeah,
we'll see.
Well, do you by chance know Jo Smith, the singer songwriter? She's from Georgia, but had a record deal in Nashville for a few years. She lost both those, but she lives in Montana now. But we just interviewed her because they did the Songwriter Festival in Whitefish, and she's partners in it. But she said now she's been gone by Jo Smith, but she's married. It's Joe Stevens, but she's rebranding a girl named Jo. That's going to be how she's going to go. So that's how she autographed the guitar and the whole deal. So, but anyway, hey, we are here in New Braunfels, Texas, at the iconic, thank you, the Green Hall. How cool is this? It's
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And you get a nice breeze in here because, it's not air conditioned, so it's nice. Good thing y'all weren't here in like June or July.
Oh, well, I understand it's a little miserable. That's what I told Miss Shen today. I said, I'm going to wear a dark T-shirt because it might be warm in there. Don't maybe sweat it out too bad. But, hey, thanks for taking time out of your schedule to come meet with us.
Of course. Thank y'all for being here. It's so cool.
Well, this is cool because we have been fans of you and your music for a long time. We met you the first time. Well, I was just telling you. So our good friend Wes Paul introduced me to your music one time. He goes, hey, do you know this Jade Marie Patek? And I'm like, no. And he goes, look her up. Damn the Rain. And that was the song he told me to listen to. And,
awesome.
And that was kind of the start of it all for us.
Very cool. Yeah, that was pre-COVID.
Yeah.
For sure. That was my first time to Idaho was in, I want to say 2018.
Yeah.
I played for, I guess, Gordy's birthday bash. And that's how I even became friends with Shane and the guys too, is from that trip.
Right.
So, yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah. So you've been coming to Idaho for a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we but you haven't been for the last couple of years.
Yeah, I haven't been for the last maybe 2 or 3 years. But then Shane had me back in Stanley this time.
Did you go
for Saints Weekend? Yeah, I was part of that. That was fun. I loved it.
We long story. We were in Red Rocks when he announced that. We saw Shane at Red Rocks in May.
Nice.
And was it May or April? May. It was in May.
Yeah, both years I think he played in May.
And so I saw Shane first, and then 2 days later saw Turnpike at Red Rocks. So
that's awesome.
That was a bucket list for me. But anyway, Shane Smith. We're also big fans of Shane Smith and the Saints. They're awesome.
They're the best. I love them.
We gotta love them because they sing about Idaho, right?
Yeah.
And they love to come to Idaho.
They have that perfect mountain sound too. I love it. I love the guys. They're all great.
Yeah, they are so awesome. But let's talk about you. So, so we became fans back in probably 2018 or somewhere around about there, and then we got to see you at Highway 30 a couple of times, and that was fun.
Oh yeah.
And then we saw you the other night out in Round Top at Junk Gypsy Practical Magic Prom. What a cool deal!
That was so fun. I love those ladies too.
Shanda came in this morning and showed me the picture. I actually made the website. Yeah,
you did.
Well, you
and
saw
probably their post too. Well, there's a bunch of reels from it. So
you saw my makeup. Remember,
yeah,
I was the
great.
skeleton. Yeah.
Yes.
So, anyway, it was fun. But no, we just love your music and we love live music, and so
thank you.
We knew we were coming down here. You were one of the first ones I put on my list. I said someday I want to interview Jade Marie.
Thank you. I'm so glad this worked out.
Yeah, this has been cool.
Absolutely.
So what have you been doing the last little bit? You got married.
Yep, got married in 2021.
Okay.
And we've just been working our tails off. Really, we put out the album last summer.
Right.
That Song in My Head album. And then I actually, earlier this year, back in February, I've been working on an EP. So it's a part one. So we'll have a part one and part two, which is going to make up an entire album. But we'll release it as 2 EPs.
So about how many songs?
It'll be 5 on this and probably 5 on the next.
So are you going to release the whole part one at once, or are you going to do the singles?
I'll probably do a couple singles.
Okay.
We're trying to get with someone with distribution and just kind of see what they think.
Sure.
Because I know singles is the way to go these days.
Well, it seems like that's the way it is going. Well, because it just takes so dang much money to do an album, right? The studio time's expensive, and as an
breaking it up this time,
independent artist, and I'm assuming you are an independent.
Yes.
Never ever had a deal with a record company.
Nope. And it's all pretty much from all the gigs we played have helped fund it. Plus, I've always had some type of other job as well to help fund everything.
Sure. So you have to work a real job.
Yes.
That's what most people don't understand about this music industry. There's a very small percentage of musicians that don't have to either come from a wealthy family or have a benefactor to sponsor them to keep them up and down the road, right?
Yeah, and there's so many ways you can do it too. I know plenty of people who just play the restaurant type circuit too,
right?
And they're able to do just that, and it just depends on, I guess, your lifestyle and how you live and whatnot. And so I had a full-time job for a very long time, along with playing still music on the side. But when I really started to take music side a lot more seriously, the full-time job became less full-time.
Sure.
And so, yeah.
So what was your full-time job? What did you do?
I did marketing for an auto group.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you
you have to use my degree, which is fun.
So you do have a marketing degree.
Yeah, marketing and public relations.
From where?
Texas State.
Right
down the road.
Right in
San Marcos.
Yep. Well, I told Shanda, I said everywhere, every town or every major area has a university or a college in it, which they're everywhere, and then also giant high school football stadiums.
Oh yeah,
that's a big deal here in Texas.
Amazing stadiums. It's crazy.
So you were born and raised here in Texas?
Yes, in Shiner, Texas, where they make the beer.
Oh, okay. Which is where from here?
It's about an hour and 20 minutes from here, not far at all. If you get on I-10 towards Houston, head east, northeast.
Okay,
of kind Houston. Of that general area. Yeah.
Now is that your folks still live there? Because we met your mom and dad the other night.
Yeah,
that was cool.
They moved back there. We lived that area, or most of my life we lived in that area, and then when I graduated high school, we all moved back to the coast. So we also lived in Rockport near the Corpus Christi area for a long time as well. And then they just moved back to Shiner in 2021.
Okay.
They had enough after Harvey. They were like, "We're out."
Yeah, I can imagine.
I miss it though, because that's been fishing's anything outdoors is my passion, and we would go fishing a lot. So I do miss going as often as we did.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. Well, we lived in Hawaii for a little bit, and so
oh my gosh,
being the Idaho farm boy, living in Hawaii and I never thought I'd be a beach guy, but we love the beach.
Oh. That's so. I bet it was beautiful.
We've never been to the Gulf of Texas. We've never been down there.
Hawaii's way more beautiful.
And no, but we do love the beach, and we also like Florida. So, so let's talk about you. What is your musical journey? How did you get started? Is your family musical?
Yes. So my grandpa, they had a polka band, and they traveled all over Texas. So when they came over from what was then Czechoslovakia.
Oh, wow.
They came over and they started just playing anywhere and everywhere they could. So there's even people from up north. I think our families ended up splitting somehow. They either chose to go the Newark route or Galveston route.
Okay.
And so whenever we have our big Worst Fest here, which is happening not this coming weekend, but the next, I think, is when it starts. Okay. And that's a whole ordeal, too. So they're playing all my grandpa's music. And he sold 1 million albums at one point.
Oh, you're
it's crazy.
kidding.
Yeah, of a single. They call it a million records or whatever, but
oh my gosh.
So yeah, he was big in the polka scene. I know that's not a thriving genre these days, but that's kind of where I was like, they did it, I want to do it. So ever since I was a little kid, I was never shy. I'd get up on tables at all of our family gatherings, and I'm like, everyone listen to me. So they knew I was most likely destined to be that.
We have a granddaughter like that, so I could see her being
on a great
that.
path. Keep encouraging it. Yeah, I know. And so growing up with that big in the 90s with all those amazing like female artists and female bands that were out there, like those were all my influences.
So who specifically?
I mean, from Dixie Chicks to Shania Twain, even like Spice Girls,
right?
Sheryl Crow, just all those women out there that were doing it and kicking ass and taking names.
Yeah, Jewel.
So I was like, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
So getting into, then you go to school and you find other interests, and I was just into sports for a very long time, and then getting into the Texas country music scene that was starting to get new to me when I was 15, 16, old enough to be able to drive and like go to these kind of concerts and get into it. That's when I was like, oh, this is so cool. I can start on a smaller scale thinking, like there's only one scale and it's, international stardom. And so seeing that you could do something on a smaller scale like that and actually be successful and build your fan base.
Who were you seeking? I mean, what artists were you going to back in those days when you were 15, 16?
So Cross Canadian Ragweed, Charlie Robinson, Reckless Kelly, Sonny LaRue, Wade Bowen, Randy Rogers, and then they introduced me to Sean McConnell. Became obsessed with his songwriting. I was all about that in like all my younger college years because it was very angsty stuff. So that that's how I really got into it. And then I started playing when we moved to Rockport.
Okay.
Started playing at the bar and restaurant that I waitressed at. And so we had live music come in, and I'm like, okay, perfect. Here's how I'm going to do this. And so started playing there, and the rest was history. I just got more and more involved. Met a lot of people like through going to Brewster Street in Corpus, which is their big venue there. And so met a lot of people. Actually, Charlie Robinson was one of the first musicians that I met in the scene when I was 18.
Cool.
And I mean, mentored me in a way, as in like we all partied together, but he had his moments where he was like, cool, Jade, we get that you can sing, we got it. It's like, but you got to tell your story, and like you got to make it believable. Like we all get that you're cute and you can sing, but like do something more. You got to suck first. Like that's what he would always tell me. So kept me humble, and he taught me a lot. So I'm very, very grateful for him and his friendship.
Yeah, I'll bet.
And I met a lot of people through him. And then when I got to college, being up here in San Marcos, that helped out a ton because you're Cheatham Street, you're coming to Green Hall, you're doing all of these things and meeting all these artists.
6th Street, in Austin.
Exactly.
I mean, there's just so much
stuff going on, and just experience. That's like the more I played, the more I got into it, the more friends I made, the more writing I did. Just those relationships alone have helped me along the road so much. I mean, my first Green Hall show was opening for Shane, so in a sold out show, I was very spoiled.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's a rough way to get started.
I know,
huh?
I know, right? My first Green Hall show
ever. Sold out.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's cool.
But I mean, then the next week we played to like an empty room, So stay humble. That's just how it goes in this business. But
it's funny because we've been to some of these big country jam in Colorado this year. Is 30 or 40,000 people, and to me that's just too many. Highway 30 and BBR in Idaho, those are our kind of
perfect size.
Yeah, 3,500, 4,000 people. That's even that can get a little crazy, but there's days, and you played early on those days, even at the Highway 30 when there's sun right in your face, and there's 40 people in the crowd or 140, and then you just the more you play it, the more people.
And that's how I've come to know and make friends with a lot of people in Idaho, because I've never been there before, but people knew of me through Gordy and Megan, and so them giving me that chance to get on those stages as much as possible whenever I could, that built long-lasting like friendships and and fans. So it's been amazing.
Well, and once you've gotten a fan, it's pretty hard to lose one unless you do something really stupid.
Right, and that's what's cool about this music scene is it's still on a very personal level.
Right.
With the like they can be friends and fans. Like I don't even like to say fans because they're more like friends to me.
Right.
And you can maintain that kind of relationship at shows. Like I think that's super special. I think that's why people are lifelong fans that they are, because it's like I can also go up and talk to this person no problem, and they don't have like a million security guards. Like,
right,
no,
right.
you can't.
And that's what I've said about the BBR and even Highway 30. You know, and I'm trying to remember the band. Some guys from I want to say they were from Nebraska. Farm Kids at Highway 30. They played there 2 or 3 years.
Oh yeah. I know the guys. I can't think of the name of the band because none of their names.
But they were just hanging out in the crowd with everybody, you know. And they're like, and people are going, you know, they're up next, right? You know, they're out in the crowd just hanging out and partying.
And James Lee Band.
Yes,
right?
the James Lee Band. Yeah,
because I know all the guys, but it's none of their names.
Yeah. So. But those guys are great, and they like were farm boys from, I want to say, Nebraska.
And then we became friends with them, and I went to Nebraska a few summers ago to go play a couple shows with them.
Oh, really?
So it's so cool how that happens.
Yeah, it is amazing, and we've done the same thing in Idaho. You know, looked over and Cody Canada's standing next to me, and you know, Shannon and the boys, and we same deal at Mile Zero Fest in Key West. You know, smaller deal. Have you been out to that?
Oh yeah.
I've
attended. Many times. It's so much fun.
Oh yeah,
I love it out there. I like hotter climates, for sure. Because Music Fest, I love Music Fest. That was my first festival. The Dixons are wonderful to me, and I'll always go up there and play no matter what. Just the weather just takes a beating on me because I'm not used to that. I think that's probably nothing for y'all.
I think that's where. Well, I've never been to Music Fest and Steamboat, but I think that's where my friend Wes Paul saw you first and became a fan, and but they go every year, and so I've always had a conflict scheduling that time of year because of the work, because the job I had
literally right after. So if you've been going to that,
we only went to Mile Zero twice, but anyway, we would love to go every year. And now with the podcast, we're trying to figure out how to get to all of these events. The big challenge is affording to get to all of them, because it still costs us money in some regard. And you know, some of them are good about giving press passes, but not all of them. Yep. So anyway, but we're trying to figure out how to get to as many of them as we can.
Awesome.
But you know, one thing we've really enjoyed just recently, Jade, is we ran into we got invited to some songwriter festivals.
Yeah.
A lot smaller, a lot more intimate. People are there to literally sit in a room. They're not going to stand and talk and yak and take selfies while you're trying to sing your songs, right? They're there to listen.
So y'all going to, like, was it Big Barn Dance and the Red River Songwriter Festivals, like small ones like that?
I went to Livingston, Montana, and then to Whitefish, Montana, and then we went to Dripping Springs the other day.
Awesome.
And got to see Walt. And then also J.D. Graham. We went up to interview J.D. What a great, great story. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no kidding. I got to do a song swap with him. Galley Winter does their little. That'd be something that y'all would enjoy coming to if you haven't yet. They do their River Jam down here in the summertime in July, and they have some bands play Cheatham Street one night. They have some bands play Billy's Ice here in town one night, and then they have everyone go to Lone Star Float House out there on the river, and it's real chill. It's just song swaps all day. Yeah, sit in the river if you want to, or just sit in front of the musicians and eat your burger and drink a beer. No, that's our. I love that. I just love and I love the songwriter side of it, because you get the story, you get the backstory. Yeah, you go to a concert, which is great. We're here for the music, but there's very little time to tell the story, right? So I had somebody. We went and saw Stevie Nicks in Salt Lake on Memorial Day, and Stevie still tells the backstory. She tells a lot of stories about how the song came about and her love life with all of her past paramours, and so. But I had somebody tell me, they said, you know what? I hated that. I want to hear the songs. I want to hear but I want to know the backstory. We got to see Lyle Lovett and Robert Earl Keen. They came to Idaho, and they sat up on the stage, just the two of them and their guitars. The banter's amazing.
And what's that? Oh, the banter. Oh my gosh,
amazing,
yeah,
sure.
They're incredible. And luckily we got to go hang out backstage with them after the show, which was really cool. Yeah. And so, but anyway, it's just I love that part of the music is knowing the backstory.
Absolutely.
How that come about.
I like both. I'm very much a best of both worlds. It just depends on your mood and who you're going to see. Some people you're going to enjoy just listening to the songs nonstop, and then there's some people you want to sit there and listen to their stories. And we're lucky because around here you get a little bit of everything. Like,
sure,
I feel like the hall you can do probably a little bit of both.
Right.
But you're going to get mostly, here's song after song and some jamming out. But we've got like a really cool listening room here, a Redbird listening room. I'm sure
we're actually thinking about going tonight.
Yeah,
because tonight is
it's amazing. It's such a beautiful little place. It's like a church. It's like church. It's so quiet.
Oh yeah.
It's just the wood in there is a lot like this, and it's an amazing room. I highly recommend doing that. And so then you get those moments because I just played there in September.
Okay.
Had my own show, so I brought these girls from Abilene, Della Rose. They're really great. They came and opened for me.
Okay.
And they told their stories. I'm in backstage like crying.
Oh yeah.
And then I get out there and I get to tell my stories.
Sure.
And it's so fun because I rarely do that because I'm more full band these days.
Right.
And so, but I do love it. I love getting up there and just jamming out, performing, putting on a show. But then there's moments where it's so cool to sit around and have your friends, family, fans, whatever it may be, just sitting there listening to these stories that you don't get to tell much.
Sure.
So to me, it makes it that much more special.
Yeah. Well, true. If that's all you did, if you did the same thing and told the same story over and over again, it would probably
you as the artist is probably like I have it memorized by now. I'm just going through the motions.
Yeah. So, but it makes it more special if you get the opportunity to do it less often, and it means more to you, right? And it probably means more to the fans as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but it really is about the music, right? So, are you still writing a lot of songs? Are you working constantly on new stuff?
Still writing a song every week. I've been in a song group since 2021 as well, where we've turned in songs once a week. So I turned one in last night. It's every Wednesday night at midnight, and so the group I'm in, we've got some really big I'd say big names to me that are songwriters in that group. And there's a couple of them now it's starting to become a thing between like a lot of the Texas artists. So it's all over. We've had people. I mean, we've had Jason Eady and them in our group and stuff too. So they're from everywhere. Channing, like he's in Nashville, and so we've had a little bit of everybody in our group. But yeah, it's happening everywhere now. It's becoming a thing, and we all do it based on a prompt that someone is in charge of giving us every week.
Okay. So you get either a sentence or an idea, but just say, okay, we're going to write about plums this week or whatever. Yeah. So and then everybody writes about the same topic.
They try to. Yeah. Our rules might be a little bit more lenient, as in like you don't have to write to that. It's just something for you to go off of.
Sure.
But some of the groups I know, I think Bree Bagwell's been in a group where she was like, "Oh, we had to write to it."
Yeah,
and I was like,
that's how I didn't know much about that, but that's I think the first I heard of it was on Bree's podcast because
she actually was in one long before I've ever been.
Really?
One, so that's been her thing for a long time. She kind of introduced me to what it actually was.
Okay,
and then I got in through Eric Middleton. With the one I'm currently in now, and I just haven't left. I've been in one with Bree a couple times.
How many artists are in there?
We usually try to keep it to like 10. It's just easy to manage that way.
Yeah.
And so if someone happens to fall out, which is if you don't turn it in by midnight,
do you get the boot?
You get the boot.
You get the boot. Seriously.
I think you get one pass a year.
You get one pass.
One pass a year.
So every week you have to turn in a song by midnight on Wednesday night, or you're gone.
Yeah,
That's
fun.
crazy. But I guess that's it. It keeps you dedicated, keeps you committed.
It just keeps me accountable. Yeah. Because you can. I mean, but there's also stuff that I'll set aside that I'm working on that I'm like, it's not done yet. I don't want to turn that in.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's something that I'll just kind of hold off on and maybe consult someone to help me finish it or something.
Sure.
Because I'm telling you, not all the songs we turn in are winners.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh, of course. Yeah, they're all number ones, every one of them.
Majority of mine are horrible, but there is some diamonds in the rough every now and then. Because the stuff I got from my album, the stuff I've gotten from my EP, majority of them have been from the song group, and then the other ones have been like co-writes. So,
that's cool.
Yeah, it's helped my writing so
I'm sure
much.
it has because, they say, and I don't know because I'm not a writer at all, but that you, some artists have that writer's block. They'll go months and not be able to write anything, So do you, I ask a lot of artists this, so do you journal?
I was really good about it last year, and I haven't been as good this year.
Okay.
I think it's just because I've been 10 times busier than I was last year, because now I do kind of still have like my part-time. I got a part-time job again this year.
Okay.
To help with things, and so that took up a lot of my time. But last year I was strictly music, and that was every morning. It was a journal thing, and so I learned that from Bonnie Bishop. I did her little creative course.
Okay.
And there's a book called The Artist's Way, and they do tell you to journal every morning.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as soon as you wake up, first thing you do, just write for like 20 minutes. Set a timer and just write. Just get.
And they said
out.
You don't pick your pen up, right? Just even if it doesn't make sense, just
exactly.
write.
Just get all those thoughts out, and that was whenever I feel like I was writing better music, because that you get all the bad stuff out.
Okay.
It's like here's all the bad stuff, and then here's the good stuff, and you just write all that other crap out, so that way you have the good stuff ready to go.
But I mean, you did all the writing. How often? I mean, obviously, at some point you go back and reread it, but how much of it ever really made sense? Did it make sense? Any of it?
Not really. Sometimes it was a to-do list for the day. You know, it just ranged to like how I was feeling. If I was happy about something or pissed off about something, to like. These are all the things that I need to do today, or the next month or something.
Right,
That's just what was on my mind.
Right.
So.
Or if you were mad at your husband.
Exactly.
and they say that's the best thing. Write it down, then
hate
burn
your
it.
Stinking guts.
yeah. Yes. Dear Darla. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, that's helped a ton, because I think it just gets all the noise out.
Yeah.
In the mornings, and then you can think clearer, and I feel like I was a lot more creative, and so. I'm gonna try and get back to that. I think that might be my resolution for the year. Okay. Because that helped a ton.
Well, yeah. Just remember, Byron reminded you to start journaling.
I will. I have to thank you for that.
Yeah, whatever. Oh, listen. No. So so you've got the new albums coming out. You're going to release half of it, and then the other half, part 2, and you're hoping to have that full album released by.
I'm hoping if we can get all the first 5 are getting mixed and mastered as we speak.
Okay.
We want to have it done so we could get it with the folks that I guess there might technically be a label, but also it's mainly distribution help. Like that's kind of who we're just in talks with.
Yeah.
So it's all Red Shahan's guys pretty much.
Okay.
So Pawpaw, his drummer, they all played on the album. I had Elijah Ford produce it, which he's the bass player for Gary Clark Jr.
Oh.
But I think he used to play with, if not Red Shahan, then Ryan Bingham, because those are all been like all of like Pale Horse days.
Okay.
And so, Pawpaw has like his own studio and maybe label / distribution, and so that's kind of.
And is that local here?
That's in Fort Worth area.
Oh, in Fort Worth. Okay. Yeah.
And so because he owns, I think he's like part owner of Magnolia Motor Lounge, and so I learned so much.
We actually saw a couple years ago Tyler and the Train Robbers there.
Perfect. Yes.
Yeah.
Such a cool place.
Yeah.
Such a cool place. So yeah, I think he's like part owner in that. Because I happened to meet the guy who was mixing and mastering our stuff. I met him there.
Okay.
To like hand it all off, and so they're all like kind of one big family when it comes to that stuff, doing things together. Because I've always really liked the stuff that Red puts out.
Okay.
So like that's more of my style, and we've been trying to find that, and it's been great stepping stones to get to that point. And so I had Elijah work on these 5, and so we handed them off to go get mixed and mastered, and he's currently working on that stuff right now. Hopefully we'll get that out in the early parts of next year.
Sure.
I'm hoping for like early spring for that, and then we'll probably record. I think I spoke with Elijah the other day, and it sounds like, because they're on tour right now, I'll be recording with him in May, and so maybe that's something that we can release late summer. I'm not a fan of releasing stuff late in the year. I've always done it because that's just how it falls.
Oh, okay.
But I'm hoping we can get that. It'll be quicker this time.
Does it really matter when it comes out? Or I mean, in your mind,
not necessarily,
maybe.
But when you have holidays and all that coming up, people tend to, they just start listening to holiday music, whether it's even streaming or radio. And so that takes precedent over your release. And then...
Oh, yeah.
So
hell, we don't even have Thanksgiving yet, and everybody's wanting to put up their Christmas.
Exactly.
Halloween's not even over yet,
no,
even though we went to a Halloween
party. You better have your
party.
Christmas song recorded and done for radio, like right now. So
Right. Oh,
it's
I'm
one of
sure.
those things that I'm trying to steer clear from, because I have done that so much, because that's just how timing has fallen with everything.
Sure.
So I'm hoping if we can get both out next year, that'd be great. If not, then maybe we'll just spread it all out throughout the year.
Yeah.
And then the next round will be the next year.
So kind of explain to us a little bit the distribution thought process there. I mean, because, the way kind of what I've seen is most everybody just does an EP or a single, throws it out on Spotify or Apple or wherever, and see what sticks.
So
and
that used to be just the way to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I could talk about this subject all day because we've lived through it since the beginning of like Spotify.
Yeah.
Because I think I started, because I remember putting out all of my early stuff, my first EP to all my singles, and all of that stuff had done really well, and that's all we did. We just put it, we followed all the rules. If we did it on our own, we submitted them months prior. We filled all the stuff out that Spotify asked you to like help them classify like what genre you'll be in and what playlist they could put you on. I've been on Spotify playlists before. Like, it's just a thing. When it was the Wild West, it was so much fun to conquer and do it on your own.
Right.
But the more that the labels and all that stuff started becoming involved with it again because they saw how much money they were losing
out on,
that now they're a huge part of it, and they're the ones that are kind of in cahoots with Spotify
well,
with all that.
we had a
now
good,
there's like beta versions of, if you have X amount of followers, we're always going to prioritize you first, and that's just how it's going now. So when I put out my album, I didn't have any of that going on for me, and they literally started that beta version like the week before I put my music out, and so we were just like, every time we think we're ahead,
right,
they take 2 more steps ahead of us, and so now distribution is the game. And so I think to me it's important, if anyone else out there is listening and trying to figure out how to put their music out, if you can find a distributor that will help you, awesome, because that's your best chance at getting the most ears.
So how will they distribute? I mean, because people don't. I mean, I shouldn't say don't. You don't sell 20,000 CDs anymore. They sell 200.
Right.
I mean, because of streaming.
Yep.
We had a long conversation with Rio about this because we got to interview Rio.
So he learned a lot of information from myself and Kelby.
Yes, I'm sure he did. So yeah, he was sharing some stuff, and of course when we interviewed Gary the other day, Gary Brown, he's like, I don't even do Spotify. I mean, he's pissed about it. So a lot of artists are, and I understand that. And most of us don't know. Well, we're trying to help people. We're trying to educate. One, this is about the music. We want to introduce your music to new fans.
Right.
Just like us, right? Everywhere we go, we find a new artist that we love, and we want to follow them, and then we become fans. But we think we're doing you a favor by downloading that music on Spotify, and we're not. I mean, you are. I mean, you're getting
to an
something.
Extent, it's more of like, are you part of that monthly listener count?
Right.
Are you following, like literally hitting the follow button? Because then that helps you, I guess, in the long run. But the streams, unfortunately,
we have the same issue, just so you know, on podcasts, right?
Yes, exactly.
Because we're required to have, before we can even begin to monetize this, we need you to subscribe. We tell everybody at the end, click the button. You realize that's the important part, is if you click that button, that's part of the count.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
and then the hours watched, just like your downloads, the number of downloads. We interviewed.
Like that's asking the consumer to do a lot. Like they're making them jump through hoops just to listen to music. Like, why do we have to make it so complicated?
Yeah, but the reality of it is, I guess they're trying to track and figure out if it's and then
algorithms that all are all so involved in all
I don't know. It's way over my head. I just know that we love live music, as do most people, and music, even if we can't see it live, we want to listen to it in the
honestly,
car.
Thank God for that, because as long as we can still do that, that's how you're going to reach those people that you won't reach on those streaming services. So luckily that we are very fortunate enough to get to do that, to get to travel to all these different places and play, because that's, to me, I'm with Willie on that. Like, screw it. I don't even focus on Spotify stuff anymore, because we used to rack our brains every day trying to figure it out, and we just can't. So at the end of the day, I'm all about, like, let's work on the live show, and let's work on building those relationships and booking those places that we can get in front of people, because that's what's going to get them.
Well, I think the big challenge is that for us as live music lovers, we see Jade Marie's going to be here, and you're going to be in a festival, and there's going to be Reckless, and there's going to be Mickey and the Motorcars, and there's going to be Ray Wiley, and there's going to be all these great artists, and you're like, I want to go to that. But then there's another one next weekend. That's the problem, is there's getting to be so many of them.
Oversaturated.
And it is a little bit, and sometimes the cost of those tickets gets a little cost prohibitive.
Yep.
But we got into town. We didn't even know about what was going on with Cheatham Street
on the 50th
anniversary, and I couldn't get a ticket.
Yep.
So we actually went up and met Gracie York and interviewed Gracie on the front patio of Garcia's across the street, because that's the only place we could find to do it, right? And
Yep.
so, it was a little rough and gritty, but it worked out.
Yeah.
And so but we want to go to these deals, but and I'm glad they sell out. I'm glad they sell out for the artists.
For sure. And then there's that whole dilemma too. I think it's still such the Wild West. Like and I think since COVID, they've had to. So many things have changed, because now I'm seeing like our festivals hurting venues. We've had a lot of big venues that have been staples in Texas for a very long time shut down.
Really?
And so I'm thinking, is there a correlation there? Because if these people paying a ton of money to go to festivals every weekend, where they can see 20 plus artists,
right.
Why would they pay
$20 or
$20 to see 1 to 2 artists,
right,
when they can go to these festivals? So that's why I'm like, is there a correlation there?
Well,
you never know. It's just,
and I'm sure, you got it is the economy,
Yeah.
and then you have places like this. Green Hall's iconic. It's been here for 150 years, and people are
they're
going.
lucky they've been here that long and have that many stories to tell.
Oh yeah,
it's that legendary.
Yeah. But thank goodness somebody cared enough to save it,
Right.
and to make sure that it was here for generations to come. We hope and hope that these. We have a little venue in east of Idaho Falls, a little deal called Steel and Joe's Bone. Max, they can hold 200 people, and they've brought in some great bands. I mean, Jeff's played there. Jeff and Darcy have played there. Muzzy Braun's played there. The Wilder Blue played there. They'd just been open for Luke Combs, and they came and played Steel and Joe's Bone, and Jason Boland played there this summer. I mean, they've had some great acts come in there, but people aren't supporting it, and I don't know why. And we've really, really tried to help. You'd be amazed how many people don't even know it's there.
I feel like that in that area, fans embrace it a lot more, because they're not as. I feel like we're spoiled down here, because this is where everybody lives, this is where everybody plays. But when we get to start playing out of state, I always feel, to me, that people like Idahoans and other places we've been to, they appreciate it 10 times more.
I don't know if they appreciate it 10 times more. I think that they're, because really there's Highway 30, there's the BBR. They've started
growing there.
Yeah. Now. But BBR's gone on for 40 years. This was their 40th. And so it's just crazy, because, and I don't know. I mean, to us, we come down here, we're having to make some decisions. Mm-hmm. We're here for a week, 10 days. Where do we go and who do we go see? Who do we not go see? And
it's
so
a big state.
and even just right here.
I know.
Just right here in your backyard, New Braunfels,
that's
Austin.
That's why I don't play in New Braunfels often in general at all, because it is like, if I play at Redbird, I know that night that there are about 10 other shows going on that evening,
right,
with amazing musicians,
right,
and so it's
you
a hit or miss of how many people you're actually going to get to your show.
Yeah.
And so it's the same thing with Green Hall. Like, if I know I'm playing here, I know there's something going on at Whitewater, or there's something,
Yes.
It's just stuff
Yeah.
you have to think about, because
Yeah.
that's why it's hard to play in a town like this if you're not a big name.
Well, you're a big name to us, so.
Well, thank you.
We love your
I'm
music.
not this
and
big
so,
around here.
Yeah, but you know
okay.
what? Once again, there's so many talented artists here. Listen,
Really
we don't want to take up a bunch of your time. I know you have you had an appointment you got to be to by 4:00, and so.
Yeah, then that's just another thing that I do. I teach lessons, so I teach young girls like 12 and under
guitar lessons.
Guitar lessons.
Is that what you're doing? Yeah. Yeah, well, that's good.
Yeah, I love it. It's great.
I'm one of those guys that really love the guitar. So I picked it up 50 years ago and didn't stick with it, because I'm about half tone deaf, and I couldn't keep one in tune. And I don't know if it was the guitar. I still have it. It's actually at the luthier getting the neck reset on it. And maybe it'll be okay. It's an old Yamaha my mom bought for me,
nice.
50 years ago.
Yeah.
But I didn't. Then I'd play, and then I wouldn't play. But in December, so it's been almost a year, I've played every day. I've missed a couple of days, not very many, but I play every day.
That's great.
Look at those fingers. I mean, I'm working on them.
You see it. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you've been playing for years and years, but I love it, and I could probably stand to take a lesson or two, but I don't know whether I'm very teachable. I've done most of it on my own.
Well, that's how I learned, was on my own. So that's
Yeah.
kind of, I'm applying that same way that I've learned with those kids.
Sure.
It's fun. I enjoy it.
But you have to be dedicated. I wasn't dedicated, you know. I mean, I can, you know, if candy and nuts
I
were
locked
if
myself in
wishes
my
and
room.
butts were candy and nuts, every day be Christmas, right?
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
In high school, I just locked myself in an office every day and just literally you want it that bad, and you just teach yourself. And
Right. You're gonna learn
from there.
you know, one or two chords, and that was the other thing. Finally, I went, why are you making this so difficult? If you know 4 chords, you can play literally hundreds
Majority
of songs.
of the, yeah.
I mean, you know, they
Your
may not be
artist songs.
fancy, but you can play them, right? And so, and then with the apps, you know, I did Ultimate Guitar,
Yep,
and
that's what I taught myself on.
and then it's just not that hard. And even Shanda says, "Hey, are you playing Hotel California?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
I am, and
Yeah.
it's nothing
Yeah,
fancy
it's
because I'm
nothing
like,
fancy. Yeah.
I'm a rhythm player
Yeah.
all day. I'm
Yeah.
not a lead player. I wish I would have focused more on that maybe one day. It's never too late.
It amazes
That's
us
what's
watching
fun about that. It's never too late.
watching Rio play. Oh my God,
I
that
know.
guy's so talented.
He's a freak in the best way, right?
Yeah,
When it comes to that,
yeah.
he can play piano. He can play like so many other random instruments.
Yeah,
Just-
yeah.
I feel like that's something you're born with. Like you're
Yeah,
one
I think
of those
yeah,
you're just born with.
he's kind of a savant, you know.
Yep.
I mean, yeah. So, well, cool. Well, listen, will you do us a favor and play us a song?
Sure.
So here, I'll hand it to you.
Thank you.
So this is TETON guitars, and this pick's really soft. Those are mine because I'm a big whammy. I like soft picks.
Soft and
There's a
kinda medium.
firmer one there. Yeah, TETON guitars out of Idaho. They give us these guitars, and this is the second one that we filled up. And this is kind of the entry level, and everybody we've had play these guitars love them. So, but
Nice.
kind of set it up. Tell us what you're going to play us, and you play whatever you want.
Okay.
Maybe something from the
was just
songwriters.
thinking,
Yeah,
maybe
I love
a new
that.
one.
We've been getting some new songs out of everybody. Juliana played us a new one today, and here, let me.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it's picking up over here.
Well,
but
I'm gonna turn this one on because
Cool.
this will
All
pick
right.
up the guitar too. There's a capo if you need
good.
one.
So this one actually co-wrote with Bonnie Bishop, and is when I lost my job and was just freaking out about doing music full time because we just didn't know what was going to happen in this economy.
Sure.
And so cried to her about it. I went over to her house, and I already had this idea that I wanted to run past her, and so we turned this into one of my favorite songs to date.
Perfect.
It's called "Slow Down" because it's pretty much about like take these moments that you've got, and I know it's scary, but take the time to just slow down and appreciate all small things. So.
Cool.
Maybe I should just slow down, move my body to some good sounds. Me and myself, we can figure it out. Do some praying till there's no doubt. I wanna feel the rhythm in my soul, pour the love on everybody I know. Before I run myself into the ground, I'm gonna find a way to slow down. It's a cruel world for an honest girl. Taking at this speed will bring me to my knees. I should just slow down, do my work in my nightgown, write some songs and just drive around. Ain't that what life's about? I need some time to learn to love myself, pay attention to my mental health. Maybe I'll get out of the lost and found when I find a way to slow down. got the worst you got. Yeah, you missed your shine. This ain't the end of me. You've only set me free. Now I finally see that I should just slow down. Do all things I never was allowed. I could be happy with my head in the clouds. Finally say my dream out loud. I need some time to learn to love myself. Pay attention to my mental health. Maybe I'll get out of the lost and found when I find a way to slow down. Crack a beer and just sing aloud. Sell all the clothes I can live without. Ain't got a job, but I'm living proud. Maybe I'm trying to keep some plants alive and meditate every day at 5. I know I'm talking lots of shit right now. That's what happens when you slow down. To slow down. Ooh.
Oh man, that's got to be Miss Shanna. That's got to be our new theme song, right?
Yeah.
So honestly, yeah.
So I love that. I'll send it to you when it's done.
I found myself suddenly and unexpectedly retired the 1st of July. So that's why we started the podcast.
Yep.
And we've really slowed down. I mean, we anyway, but I love that. That's a great song and a great message. So
thank you.
Put your autograph on that for me somewhere. Down there on the bottom somewhere. It'd be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it depends on the day. I choke myself up when I listen to myself sing that, because it's just, I remember what I was going through at the time.
Oh, it
terrifying.
It can be. Oh, it is a little terrifying, and I'm close enough. I'm 63, almost 64 years old. So, you know, but it was totally unexpected, right? Mm-hmm. You know, when a company pulls you in and says, "Hey, we can't afford you anymore." Yep. That's a bit of a shocker. So,
and I mean, the music industry is scary too, and so knowing that I was going to be doing just that's terrifying, because, you know, with like the Spotify stuff that was going on, I was just like, what's going to happen?
Right.
You know, my album's already out. Streaming wise, wasn't doing as great as I thought it would, but you know, I'm getting opportunities to play. Yeah. But you know what? It could just change tomorrow, and so that's what was like. That was the scary thing about it.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Well, listen. Thank you again so much.
Thank you
this
for having me.
This has been so fun, and we always look forward. So when the new album's out, please let us know. We'll help you. We'll help you promote it all we can. And
I'll send you the finished product of it if y'all did want to use it.
Super cool. We love that. We love that. But hey, thanks for coming. We appreciate you. Listen for Musical Miles don't forget, where can we find your music?
JadeMarieMusic.com, and anywhere you download and stream music.
There you go. Follow us on YouTube, all the social media. Make sure you subscribe on all of it. Click the buttons. You got to follow it. You got to like it for it to benefit all of us.
Right.
But thank you so much for Musical Miles Podcast. I'm your host with Jade Marie Patek. We will see you somewhere else down the road. Adios.
Yeah.